Hello, hello! Welcome back to the tier list maker of Risk of Rain 2 items with me and Mithril Turtle.
Hello, everyone.
Alright, so, last time we did this, we got through all of the white items. We managed to say that the steak was warm and expensive, so we put it in bad beer, and that the watch is only good if you never get hit, which is going to be almost completely impossible, except for...
Let's be honest, you're not on this channel if you don't get hit.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, no, if you probably go, if you don't get hit in Risk of Rain, go watch an actual, like, professional play. What are you doing here? But thank you for watching. Okay, well, for this one, we'll start in with the green items. We got all these guys here. You can't really see my cursor, but all the green items here. And we will start with the AG-1 missile launcher. Chance to launch a missile. Okay, so this guy here. So this guy, I like with Plasma Shrimp. It's a the void item corrupted version of AG missile launcher. So that is actually pretty fantastic because it's like it's very good because the shielding, or anytime you take damage from a shield, you launch.
The void item tier list or the green item tier list?
Yeah,
One missile launches 10% on damage to do it to launch a missile for 300% of missile damage done.
Yes, I was talking myself into a corner. Thank you for rescuing me from that. Okay.
You're welcome.
Alright, yes. Void items good. Green items are also good. This guy is probably gonna go... we're gonna put it... Oh my goodness. So, yeah, I'll put it above Crit Glasses because, like Crit Glasses, AG Missile Launcher does not fall off hard late game because the more missiles you have is the more damage you can output, and it will just, like reflection plating over here, it just scales infinitely, so the more missile launchers you have, the more missiles you can put out, and the higher chance missiles you can put out. It's really...
That's why it should be brewery with your bro tier right under broach.
Oh, okay.
So my 20-second spiel is that missiles proc off of any effect that isn't a missile, such as razor wire, and the running yellow item that causes wisps, even the overloading worm unique that causes lightning strikes to then launch a missile for however 300% times the number of missile stacks that you have missile damage, so it can stack pretty crazily, especially with 57 Leaf Clover. I couldn't spend the entire video talking about the math, but it's lots of missiles, lots of damage. This thing's amazing.
Alright, yes. Yes. Good pairing here, because this will also go in conjunction with Topaz Brooch, because the more missiles you have killing things, the higher shields you have, and yeah, that's how you get to be unkillable.
It's missiles. It's not armor. It's missiles.
Yes. Alright. Now, with that out of the way, go ahead and you get the next one. Will-O-Wisp here.
Stuff it. I'm pretty indifferent to Will-O-Wisp. I'd say put it under the slug and mediocre beer, because unlike gasoline, it doesn't apply a status effect. It does do the damage, however, there's also like a little bit of a delay, and the blast radius is pretty small, and since it's a green item, it's harder to get a big stack of them relative to gasoline.
Yes, I 100% agree with that ranking. The Void option of this, however, is completely busted. So, when we get to that...
It's not as good as coffee, but it's good.
Absolutely, yes. No, there are only two things that are as good as coffee right now. We'll probably have a couple more, but looking at you, Tesla Coil. A couple more later on, but as of right now, there are only two things that are as good as coffee.
Even then, there's still less, because coffee is the top of S tier, depending on how hard we mean.
Yes. Alright, now, Mr. The feather named after the game devs themselves, the Hoppo feather. It does indeed do what it says. You hop a lot with this. For characters with very limited verticality, this item is completely incredible because it gives them the verticality that they're missing. However, people with already insane verticality, it's pretty meh. So, I'm thinking of putting this guy probably... I'm probably going to put it below Will-O-Wisp for now, because above Will-O-Wisp means that it's more useful than Will-O-Wisp, and I don't think that that's true. Well,
considering that I play a robot that doesn't have a jump piston and he's just got treads, it is much more useful than Will-O-Wisp, but we can make as many Disney puns in the comments as we want.
Alright. Well, we'll just go ahead and we'll put this above Slug then. We'll make it a little bit better than that.
Sounds good.
Alright. Now with this guy.
I'd say... Oh, that's tough. I'd say ukulele is alright. Put ukulele just below tougher times in good tier. What ukulele does is a 25% chance on hit to hit the 3 enemies within a radius that increases with the number of stacks, and also the number of enemies that it hits with lightning increases with the number of the stack. So it's really good AoE damage on it's good AoE damage on hit. It is really good for groups, especially if you have a fast fire rate weapon. Absolutely solid. Not as useful for a single target. And that's why it's in good beer tier and not brewery with your bro tier like missiles. And I don't think I can't remember if ukulele triggers missiles or not, but yeah.
I will say that I'm going to be spicy and we're going to say it's going to be above teddy bears because it can proc gasoline and razor wire too.
Fair enough. I feel good about ukulele, but I know it's good, but I'm a little bit indifferent on
how good
it is, so long as it doesn't touch Propulsion Plate, one of the favorite item of turtles everywhere.
Yes. However, I will say that if it gets paired with a kazoo, it just becomes unstoppable. They might even have a whole game depicting that somewhere out there.
I don't believe you're talking about another stringed instrument, but I think that's so now one of Pokemon's best status moves, Leeching Seed.
Leeching Seed. Here we go. Oh, did you put the placement? Sorry.
Yeah, it's your turn to place Leeching Seeds.
Oh, my turn to place. Okay, well, yes. I didn't really like Leeching Seed as a Pokemon move. I was more of a Giga Drain fellow. But if you have ways, I remember last time we were talking about minigun and multi-hits. This is the time when multi-hits are in our favor here, because the more time you have to attack something, the more you'll heal for. Leeching Seed heals you for the amount of times you attack things, so the more you can attack things, the more you heal from. I would be willing to put this probably below... I'm going to say, we're going to be spicy. We're going to put this below Backup Magazine, because it can be very useful, but it depends on, again, actually, we're just going to put this above Syringe, because it's fully dependent on how fast you can attack.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair placement. I think top of free beer is good for leeching seed. It's not great for slower attackers like loader doesn't for like loader, acrid, and mercenary. I feel like it's not like it's fine. Like it doesn't hurt you ever, but it doesn't help them as much as it helps like soldier and multi.
Absolutely, but you're not you're not taking leeching seed with the rebar puncher for a fact.
Except I would, but that's me.
Well, I thought you were going to say unless you've got 100 cups of coffee, then you would take it on rebar puncher.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Cough, cough. That video might be out. Cough.
Oh, that is. Go check out on when you give a robot too much coffee. Predatory instincts. Honestly, I'd say bottom of free beer, maybe top of mediocre. I'm kind of indifferent because I don't think it gives you an increased critical rate chance. It just gives you up to 36% fire rate increase, but only off of critical hits. So it's pretty dependent on what the rest of your items are, unless you're bandit or railgunner that can guarantee critical hits. But for everybody else, it's pretty meh on its own. You would like 3 soldier syringes is more consistent. If you had to trade 3 soldier syringes up for one, and I think they also have, now, 3 soldier syringes is 42, so 3 soldier syringes is just strictly better.
I will say that predatory instincts give you a 5% crit chance per item stack, but if you're going to do that, you might as well just get crit glasses.
Fair enough, and for whatever, if people weren't aware of what I was talking about of the trading up in the blue portal void market, you can trade 3 white items for a green item. So my thought was, I would rather have 3 soldier syringes than 1 predatory instincts because the total fire rate increase is higher and it's not dependent on whether or not you crit. So that was my math tangent. I'll try to keep those to a minimum.
Oh, it's totally okay, man. It's like as long as we're getting the good stuff out there, man, we're totally fine here. Yeah, no, like I do agree with you on that. Where like, why would you spend 3 soldier syringes that are going to give you a 4% higher attack speed bonus than this? Although it does give you the 5% crit chance if you just built like 6 of these. These are more common than this too.
And crit classes, I guess it can be situationally better, but in general, I would just prefer to have soldier syringes over it.
Absolutely. Okay. So now we're gonna go with our licorice whip here, our red licorice whip. I would say this is actually this is good for map traversal, but not good for anything else. I'm gonna say it's like at the bottom of mediocre beer because it only triggers when you're outside of combat, and it takes like I think 5 to 6 seconds to recharge once you're out of combat. So it's it's good for traversing the map because it does give you a greater movement speed buff than both energy drink or goat hooves. But as soon as you get into combat, it takes away your movement speed buff. So pretty.
That's fair. I'm pretty meh. So mediocre seems like a great spot. And cloaking device. Do you know what you can't see if it's active? Beer. No beer tier.
Boom. I used to think this was actually pretty good, but I then one time got one shot by an AoE attack while I was invisible. So if you're gonna do this,
I don't even know how the stealth AI works. Like with Bandit, they don't actually target you. With that thing, I have no idea. It feels like they still target you, hence no beer.
So I will say that it if you if you get hit and it drops you below that certain percentage, then, so we're taking, if Power Elixir does not exist, this is actually like mediocre beer, because it does cloak you, and it does, if you're surrounded by a lot of enemies, it does allow you to reposition very quickly. But now that Power Elixir exists, just take Power Elixir instead of this, because it allows you to get a bunch of health back, and if you've got like an AoE attack that is going to be hit on you, or if you have a damage over time effect on you.
Parent and cheat constructs.
Absolutely, absolutely. This does not... Yeah, like, the chi constructs or the lasers, it doesn't matter if you turn invisible. If the laser's on you and then this procs, it's still gonna keep on targeting you. So, yeah. Really sucks.
Alright.
Alright.
Harvester's Scythe to you.
Alright. This couldn't have come at a better time here. So, as I was mentioning... Let me put this down for a second here. As I was mentioning in the last video, crit glasses are a favorite item of mine, being a mercenary main here. They do fall off a little bit late game. However, do you know what does not fall off late game? Harvester Scythe. Harvester Scythe heals you every time you do a critical hit. And the more damage you deal, the more you're going to heal for. So, as we get into items that increase our damage, the Harvester Scythe is going to harvest more HP from our enemies and give it to us, which in certain scenarios can be an absolute lifesaver. So, I think that this would make Harvester Scythe... Honestly, I think that this would make... I don't think it's quite Brew Me With Your Bro tier, because it does get... Unless this is paired with Rejuvenating Rack down here. Unless that's paired with Rejuvenating Rack, this goes all the way here. Because then you heal for just a stupid amount of health per second. However, full max crit, I think this goes probably above Repulsion Plate, and let me explain to you why here. Repulsion Plate allows you to not take damage. You know what? I'm gonna renege on my thing here. This is... I'm thinking too much like a mercenary main, okay? Let me... Because I'm like... You heal in your iframes, which is just strictly better than not taking damage, but... Only 3 characters on the entire game even have access to iframes, so then that would put this right here, because you're still going to take damage, and if the damage you're taking is greater than the damage you're healing for, and you don't have this, then Rejuvenating Rack, then it becomes less powerful than Repulsion Plates.
Just like, no, I am not touching Repulsion Plates. Spotted at the top of Good Beer 2, where someone with Turtle in their name is co-hosting this tier list.
Well, hey, here, like, if this healed you for twice the amount of crit, then absolutely this would be better than Repulsion Plate, but it only scales, with the amount of crit that you have, based on the amount of damage you do, so...
I thought it was just heal 4 every time you crit per stack, so if you have 2 of them, you go 8, 3 is 12, etc. And it gives you a small crit chance bonus for having them.
It also, correct me if I'm wrong here, people potentially watching this video, it also scales off of how much crit damage you do. So, like, you crit, and then the damage you do on the crit also factors into how much you heal for.
I don't think there's anything that scales off of the healing off of damage you do. I think it's just per attack landed, but I guess we can leave that up to the commenters.
Alright, we can also do some experimenting ourselves to see if that's actually true, or if I'm just blowing smoke out of my behind.
The smoke katana.
Smoke katana. There we go. Katana 0. No katanas, because it's made of smoke.
Yeah.
Alrighty. But yes, as of right now, without just by itself, it's below propulsion plating. Alrighty. Now you're on to fuel cell, my good man.
Let's put it bottom of good beer.
Bottom of good beer. Okay.
Fuel cell is extra equipment uses, so it kind of requires a good equipment, but there are a lot of really good equipments. So if you have a really good equipment, using it, having an extra charge and a 33% cooldown reduction for your equipment is really good. That's good beer.
I think that's very appropriate. It's a good item, which means that you would pair it with good beer.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now, here we are. Blood it's just called infusion, but it looks like blood, so it's blood infusion. I think that this is... So, what infusion does... Let me put this down for a second here. What infusion does is it allows you to gain a permanent health, a permanent 1 health per 100 stacks per the amount of infusions you have. So, for example, if you have 6 infusions, you're going to gain 6 maximum HP for every monster that you kill. If you have 10 infusions... Yes, if you have 10 infusions... Well, no, it's up to 100 per stack. So...
Right, so each infusion can give you 100 health per infusion that you have. So 6 infusions is 600 plus max health.
Yes, so if you have 10 infusions... I don't know if you'd ever get up to 1,000 maximum HP, maybe on long distance runs, but the fact of the matter is there that it just gives you straight up maximum HP, which is very, very good in a game where taking damage is imminent, and taking a lot of damage is fairly imminent. So, especially for squishier people, like Huntress, for example. Huntress can get like 5 infusions, deviate from the glass cannon build a little bit, and then have that little extra cushion for her. Plus, actually, I just thought of this. The more infusions you have, the more work shield generator is going to put in, because the higher your maximum health, the more shields you're going to get from shield generator. So they actually work off of each other. So, in that case, I would probably put infusion. Let me see here. You know what? No, we're just going to go with this. I'm going to put infusion right above bleaching seed because, well, no, we're going to put it above fuel cell because being alive is better than if you're alive, then you can
down below bleaching seed.
Hey, my thing is, if you're alive, then you can activate your equipment. Boom! There you go.
Okay, that's fair, but if you say that, then let's move bleaching seed up, because, granted, okay, so I could just be playing a lot of really high health characters, but even if you get hit, you are going to get hit multiple times, so you are going to need an amount of recovery, and shield generator technically surpasses it if you have more than like 1200 health. It surpasses it like immediately because it's just the 8% increase, and then like the out of combat passive regen without any of the work. Like infusion's really good.
Oh.
I'm just very passionate about it. I'm passionate about leeching seeds also being very good because especially on monsoon where you have decreased passive healing rate, and sometimes like you just don't ever get back up to your total health. Like even if you don't have a reliable healing item, it doesn't matter what your max health is.
Okay, so you know what? Compromise here. We're gonna move leeching seed up above infusion into good beer tier because
I'm good with that compromise.
we'll do this here because with
infusion does help prevent you from being like one shot. Like I absolutely agree. Infusion's a really good item. I think what this conversation has sparked is we previously undersold leeching seeds.
yes. No, I think because I'm thinking about it in terms of healing for 1 damage per attack, but in the context of the really super late game Risk of Rain runs with people that can attack very fast, you'll 1 have a lot of HP, and 2 you'll be able to heal that HP back fairly quickly. So I think that this is exactly where they need to be here.
Yeah, my 10-second math aside is that leeching seed procs off of all damage caused. So if you razor wire into ukulele, razor wire hits 5 things and triggers 2 ukuleles that each hit 2 or 3. You've just healed like 10, 15 off of 1 proc of that with leeching seed. So, and that's 1 leeching seed, and that's just like 1 frame of the game, and you're also attacking at the same time. I know I took longer than 10 seconds, so we're just going to put Bandolier at the bottom. Actually, we're going to put Bandolier right below Monster Tooth, because Bandolier refreshes your skills. Chance 25% chance to drop into a box to refresh your skills. Most of the time you don't need skill refreshers, you'd rather have health.
Absolutely, yes. I think that's... I would actually put it below Fireworks, because I think Fireworks are a little bit more useful than Bandolier, but it's like just a little bit more useful.
Fair enough. Fireworks are more reliable to trigger. Well, like, fireworks can be done independently if you're doing something. Fireworks are fun. We'll just leave it at that.
You always like the 4th of July. No one likes going to pick stuff up.
Unless you're England.
Yes. Okay. Alright. There we go. Berserker Pauldron. Here we go. My brain glitched out for a second there. Okay. So Berserker Pauldron here. This is strictly if you can kill 3 enemies in a certain amount of time, very short amount of time, gives you a massive boost to movement speed and attack speed, which will symbiotically function off of Leeching Seed here. So I'm going to say that we're going to put Berserker Pauldron. I think that it's below... You know what, actually? So, yeah, no, I think that it's below Infusion, because it is really good if you can get it off, but... And later on in the game, like mid-game, you're going to be killing 3 enemies in a row easy.
This could just be my playstyle. Personally, I have a hard time triggering it in a useful scenario, so I would say it would be below Syringe and Goat Hoof, but that's just because I'm open to leaving it in good beer, like top of free beer or something, but for me is if I've killed at least 3 enemies, that usually means the entire screen is exploding if it's late game, so that means nothing's left alive anyway. So like nothing that wouldn't be like a super boss like Mithrix or Voidlight would be alive, and that wouldn't trigger on them anyway because there's no other enemies. So to me it's not as useful if you are just stacking effects across the entire screen, so that when one starts it all just cascades and everything dies. It's more useful if you're like single targeting stuff.
That is a very good point. We'll put it here. There we go. Okay. All right, now.
Yeah, but yeah, you did a really good point of selling that. Is I think it's play style differences of.
No, absolutely. I think I think that it like probably it's the same thing with glasses, just on a different scale. Where if you're going where late game, you can have this and it will help you out, but you would rather have other things instead.
Right, like you would want one or two of them, but it's something that you might re-roll if it's not if you're looking for a something that fits in a different theme.
Absolutely, it's like getting finding a cookie and biting into it, and you're like expecting chocolate, but then it's just like oatmeal raisin, and you're like, it's still good, but you were expecting chocolate.
Yeah, as someone who loves oatmeal raisin cookies, I agree that if someone is expecting chocolate chip when they get oatmeal raisin, that's reasonable to be disappointed. But if you're looking for oatmeal raisin and you get oatmeal raisin, you're really happy.
Perfect. Okay. Now, we have the rose buckler here. Not nearly as powerful.
With a brooch, but honestly, I just throw it at the bottom of the yogurt beer because I don't even notice what it does when it's active.
I would actually.
I know it's a damage reduction when it's while you're sprinting, but the problem is either it's hard to tell the amount of damage that it actually reduces, or I'm dying so badly that I'm just in a panic that I don't notice it actually doing anything. Or if I'm playing multi-year soldier and I'm just holding down left click to not hurt my hand by overdoing things with bandit, I'm not sprinting anyway.
Yes. No, I was going to argue the point that this actually would go into no beer category because with the shield, you're expecting the shield to be say you've just come out of a Marvel movie. You're expecting the shield to act like Captain America's shield here, and it doesn't. In fact, it's actually really terrible. So then you would put it into no beer tier. I do think that it's good for more mobile people that like never stop sprinting because then you just have like a little bit of
green scrap because green scrap's at least consumed first and not potentially your harvester size in a recycling bin.
That is a good point.
I did not think I would get that sassy.
No, but that is 100%. Is like you would much rather turn this into green scrap so that you don't get your ukulele or your scythe taken up.
Let alone S tier missiles.
Absolutely. Okay, now.
And I think with the double rings, it's probably a nice spot for a smooth transition to the end card. I think that's a good enough pause because I know it's about 9:30.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you were doing there. Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll leave the waiting bands for next time.
The silence was actually perfect, so that way you could actually just clean transition for a break. Because like I said,
I'm strong.